Hello, my name is Ishmael Claxton. I am a visual artist and curator, and this is called Black Noise. I am the curator for this show, and this came to being in the last 6 months. And we have 22 Black artists from across Ireland representing the diaspora, and it will be on till the June 25th. And with that, we'll have a series of events. We'll have a zine making workshop.
How did this come about?
Well, it actually started. There was two different things. There was a talk in Emma a few years ago, and it was Black artists, and it was basically talking about what can Black artists do. And then initially, what happened was I was just more of a talking group, and then I kept asking like, could we do a show or could we do something behind of it? But we kind of had a chat group, and it kind of fizzled out. And then I did a show here last year called Salon de Refusé, which was based off of the famous show in Paris. And while I was doing that show, there was a Black curator who came in and was saying like, what's the story was like there being more, visualizations of Black artists collectively. And so it kind of really sparked something in me. And then learning about George Nkencho, I wanted to just do something where it was this only Black artist. And so that's where like kind of the brainchild came from. And over the last 6 months, I've just been accumulating, meeting artists and interviewing different artists. And so it came to be that we had 22 Black artists from across Ireland.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
And which one is your favorite piece so far?
Well, it's hard to know. There's so much amazing work here, so I wouldn't say necessarily a favorite. I'd say it's just the way it harmonizes is really important for me, and the fact that there's never been a show like this ever in Ireland where it's all Black artists. Although it's 2026, which you would never think that, but this is the first time ever in Irish history that there's been a show of this making.
Amazing.
So for me, it's more like a combination because, like I said before, I'm an artist myself. So it's a mix of various things. So it could be a combination of like the harmony of some of the pieces to like for me, I'm more of like Afrofuturism. I also am very like research heavy into my work. So a lot of it is incorporated. I also have a few pieces in the show as well. So there's a mix,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of different art pieces here, and like you said, that's something that has never happened in Irish history. Where there's like a collection of 100% Black people that made this. And regardless, let's not talk about favorite. Which is the art piece that impacted you the most?
Well, I mean, like I said before, like they kind of all speak to each other, so it's a bit of harmony. But I could talk maybe about one of my pieces that I've been working on a series. Like this is kind of like the blue corner that I call it. But this is a series I've been working on, and it's a series of Black people living in Ireland. And so I'm working on 100 portraits at the moment that I started in January. So this is number 88, and this is Ati, who's actually doing the poetry, and that's her daughter Rachel. And so basically, there's this term in Irish called Dorgorman, which is the blue skin people. That's what they used to call Black people back in the days. And so I've been doing this series using a special film format. So this is shot with film, and then you get this like blue tinted skin tone. So it's like speaking to that, and then like reclaiming the terminology as well. And like it's a powerful image because it's a mother and daughter, and I just thought it resonated really well. I thought it sung quite well to this one as well.
The blue-skinned people, yes. Absolutely, amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing.
I also really like this artist as well because this piece is actually called Dark Armor as well, which is the term we were just talking about. This is an amazing artist.
Excellent.
And then this is I love this piece as well. This is another really powerful piece. This is Oa. This is another young artist. It's a really interesting mix because we have a mix of artists at various ages. So there's some artists who are quite young, and then we have some artists who are quite older. Like there was one artist who I met who had said that he had been living in Ireland for 40 years.
Oh, wow.
And he never even knew that there was other Black artists in Ireland, which kind of speaks to the lack of spaces, the lack of Black people making spaces for themselves as well in Ireland, which is something that I'm working on actively at the moment.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
And what do you have planned next?
Next. Oh yeah, so basically at the moment I have a show up in Collins Barracks that's going to be ending on Sunday. But basically that's another project that I started, and that's on decolonizing collections.
Oh, wow.
I used a similar film format to photograph the Natural History Museum. It's one of 3 Victorian museums in the world. And so basically we were looking at how the way the museum presents work, the way that the museum packages work, and the way histories collapse on each other. So that's another project I've been working on. And then the other project that I mentioned, which is called Mood Indigo, which is the 100 portraits of people of color, which I'm showing you the one of
Okay.
one of the
Oh,
winners.
yes.
So like that's two projects I'm actively working on at the moment. And then I was saying before, I'm going to be curating another show after this next month here. That's going to be Yana's show. And then the collective Iova that I mentioned, we're going to be doing our 7th annual Culture Night show. That'll be in September. And then I have another project coming up where I'm curating a show with 4 artists. It's 4 female artists. That'll be called Alternative Methods, which is looking at people using alternative methods within the arts. So it's like I'm trying to bridge different gaps. That's what I'm trying to do. And also just help other people out.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. You have a lot of things planned, and it's great that you kind of created kind of a space, kind of a hub for like-minded individuals and people with similar backgrounds possible, And amazing, I think this is something. How long is this going for?
This is going to be up to the 25th of June.
25th of June. Great. So for a lot of people to check out.
Please come check it out. Yeah, it's a very powerful show. Like I said, it's quite historical. Like for the opening, we had Dr. Philomena Mullen. She's from the African Studies Department at Trinity. And she was telling us an amazing story, once again, about the lack of, a mix of Black artists. Because normally it's like you see like there's like pockets and normally it's like the same names. Like I've been in a few of the institutions as well, and it's always the same name. So I just wanted to create a space where we would see people that you normally don't see. So a lot of these artists, a lot of the artists, this is their first shows, which I think is amazing. I think it's quite impactful, and also just bringing all these people together into like one space and creating a safe space for people to be themselves.
And which ones of these pieces are yours?
Oh, something else. All
right.
So this is actually Jordan Nkencho. This is the guy who was killed by the guards. This is his actual family, and I was at the court case. And once again, I was using that same blue film. It's the same blue film here, and it's talking to that again, like the idea of Blackness, within Irish context. So yeah, these two are mine. And then this was made by a good friend of mine, Omero.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like I said, and this is kind of like the blue corner.
And unfortunately, by the time this started, another one happened with.
I know.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. This seems to be a common trait, and this is one of the things I actually spoke about, was the fact of, at the moment, you see there's a very much like an attack on Blackness globally. And so I think a lot of times we fall into these ruts, and I think that's important to see that art has this power that it can like unify people, and it can also make people rethink the way people identify, the way people ideally think about Blackness. So it's like that's one of the things I think is very important to understand. And the other day I was on the radio, I was actually talking about this, and I was saying that even within the darkest of times, that's normally when the Renaissance comes. So I feel like we're actually living through a Renaissance at the moment. The fact that there's never been a show like this in history, the fact that we have so many amazing, talented artists that either unknown or just coming out of their shell, I think is a beautiful thing. And I think that out of all this negativity, there will be some amazing artists, there'll be history being made, and it's going to be a game changer.
Oh, interesting. So, how did you get into art?
That's a very complex question, but it's a mix. Like my background is actually in science. So I studied pure mathematics in undergrad, but I always had a political background. My mom was quite politically active. So I would have been part of like the NAACP youth branch. I was part of like the RCP youth branch. I was very politically active as a youth. And that was one part of it. But then when I was also a kid, I actually was in after school center and I did photography. So it was like my first time in the dark room. And I always wanted to pursue art, but like my family were just like, listen, we're not in America, school's expensive. So they were like, if you're going to go to college, we'll pay for you to study science because you're good at that. I said, okay, cool. And then basically I saved up enough money, and then I started just learning photography by working at a darkroom in New York. And then that was one of the reasons why I wanted to come to Europe, was to like develop my art form a little bit more. So I came here and studied art. So that was kind of like one of the initial sparks. And then also just like working with mentors, just like kind of refining the craft. But like that's like a kind of a mix. It was a mixing pot of like various things that got me to the point I am now. So it also is quite helpful because like with all these different things I learned over time, I can incorporate them within the art form as well. So I don't only make art, but I also curate the art in a way of like I do all my own framing. I do my own hanging. I also process my own film. I'm doing all the different stuff that normally you wouldn't really get artists doing. So that's one of the things that I really like, is like learning new techniques, learning new styles. And I try to incorporate that in everything I do.
Okay, it's a USP, your unique selling point. You have you are putting in multiple facets of creating your own film, etc.
Yeah. That's what I've been saying. Like with that last project, what I was saying, I was using a special film format. Like that film is now discontinued, so now it's like those pieces are like they're part of history.
Yeah,
that way.
yeah.
So it's like each thing I do, like I think about it, and it's very research oriented as well.
Great.
Yeah.
Hey, amazing. Well, I'm looking forward to what you have planned. You seem to be I see your art on the Gallery X Instagram page, and I saw it here, and I see the vision. And
Yeah. Well, we have an
looking forward
amazing
to-
gallery owner, Giovanni. He's really cool because not a lot of gallery owners would give artists or curators the space to do this kind of thing, you know? Like that's one of the biggest things, the fact that this has never been done before. And even when I was talking to other curators about it, they were like, really? That was one thing that actually Dr. Mullen mentioned the other day as well. She was saying that like during the organizing of the show, or when she was doing her talk, she was saying that when she had another friend who was a doctor come from America, she was like, "Oh, where are the black galleries? Where are the black curators? Where's?" And they were like, "There is none," you know. So it's like the fact that we're able to do something like this is very important. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Certainly. And absolutely, it was nice meeting you. What is your name?
Ishmael Claxton.
Nice to meet you.
You can find me at Ishmael Claxton Photos. That's my handle on Instagram. ISHMAELCLAXTON PHOTOS.
Excellent. Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.